Good evening and welcome. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. Happy middle of the week. Happy the middle of whatever is going on in your life right now. Our intention in being here is that if you need a little lift, if you need a little faith lift, if you need a better understanding of your relationship with Spirit, well, that's why we're here. And you are so very welcome to join us. I like to think that we're kind of a spiritual clinic. We'll help you feel better if you're feeling bad, and we'll help you feel even better if you're feeling fine. And we can also function as a spiritual urgent care center if that happens to be where you are. So we call this thing in midweek Wednesday Matters because it does. Because wherever you are, you matter. And we like to think that if we all get together and share what's going on in our lives and talk about Spirit, well, we'll all be better for having done it. Welcome, Jennifer. Glad you're here. Can I get closer to the mic? Yes, I can get closer to the mic. As a matter of fact, the mic just got turned around by you-know-who. And is that better? Also, I can do one other thing. Hold on. Hang on, there's going to be a big bang. Sorry about that. I'm supposed to do that before I go on, and I forgot. So, is that better? Can you hear me better now? Just let me know. And let's see, where am I? Well, I'll tell you what, to get us all playing off the same page, I want you to listen to these words a bit better. Just a bit? Should be a lot better.
Well, tell them we just had a big power outage, so...
Yeah, I don't know if that would affect the sound or not, but it might. It might. The technical department wants me to remind you that we just had a major power outage. Everything went blank a little bit ago. So, that might be affecting this. And I will try to speak up as well. How's that for a plan? And let me know if it gets any better. I'm about as close to the mic as I can be. And I've got my stuff here turned up about as high as I can go. So let me know. Okay? Okay. It's better. All right. I am closer. Yes. And I will stay closer. I will. Okay? So, as I was saying, to get us all paying... I love you too. To get us all playing off the same page, I invite you to listen to these words. And if they resonate with you, please feel free to repeat after me. I'll leave room for you to do that. There is a creative, motivating power in the universe.
There is a creative, motivating power in the universe.
It is the intelligence.
It is the intelligence.
And the power.
And the power.
And the love.
And the love.
Behind all of creation.
Behind all of creation.
And it is the life within me.
And it is the life within me.
I know it.
I know it.
I feel it.
I feel it.
I believe it.
I believe it.
And I accept it.
And I accept it.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Good. All right. Well, here we all go. Happy Wednesday. Looking at what is going on in the world at large, and isn't it an interesting world at large? We have wildfires and weather and voter suppression and more weather. They're drowning on the East Coast and we're having a drought on the West Coast. There's Free Britney and oversized goldfish are taking over one Minnesota lake, causing issues for local fish. And I saw pictures of them, and it's amazing. They are humongous goldfish, which is kind of scary when you think about it. Happy Hump Day, Dana. Glad you're here. So, all that stuff that I just rattled off is certainly not all of it, not even a good part of it. But this isn't a news show. I just wanted to point out that there seems to be a lot of stuff going on in the world. So I guess my real question is, how does that affect us? How does that affect you? What's going on in your world? I think there's about to be a crash in mine. So hold on just one moment. He's pulling on the cord for the light.
Okay. You want him gone?
Yeah, I think he has to be. Sorry. Spirit was going for the light. And while that sounds like it's a spiritual statement, it actually isn't. It's a cat mommy statement. And
Life-threatening.
yeah, it could be life-threatening, I suppose. I'm just not sure for whom. Who? Okay, so let's see. Football-sized goldfish. Yeah. Yeah, and they are scary looking. You know, goldfish never look scary floating around in their little bowls, do they? No, they never look scary. These guys look pretty scary. They're they're that big. And the guy who was holding one had big hands, so it might be bigger than. Anyway, yeah, football-sized goldfish. I always thought they were kind of innocuous little things, but not so much now. Not so much. So, while the goldfish may not affect your life too much, how about the rest of that stuff? The droughts and the fires and the. I gotta tell you, we're still a little PTSD-ish around here about fires. You know, having been through it once, wouldn't care to ever go through it again. I don't recommend it to anybody. And I'm all hung up in the what appears to be a voter suppression movement. I'm not so wrapped up in Free Britney, but maybe I should be. And then there's the goldfish. So, what's that got to do with you and your life? How's any of that affecting you and how you want to be in the world, what you want to do in the world? Just a lot going on. A lot going on. So, I think perhaps I will talk about what I was going to talk about because I'm kind of fascinated by my own topic tonight. Memories. Memories and what we do with them and where we put them and how they come back when you least expect them. I ran across some pictures the other day that were taken on a trip we made to Scotland a few years back. And the pictures reminded me of some of the things that happened while we were there, as pictures will, of course. And the memories were so vivid at the time that I'm sure I must have said at least once, I'll never forget this. I will never forget this. And yet, well, you know how it goes. You go back home, don't you? And you get back into life as it normally is. And you might talk a little bit about the amazing memories, but after a while, the amazing memories start to fade. They get lost in the shuffle of life. And perhaps you don't exactly forget the memories, but they certainly aren't in the forefront of your mind, where I, at least tonight, think they should be. But maybe it's just me. However, I am remembering now, and I want to share a few things with you before they fade. before I forget again. And maybe in sharing with you, I won't forget this time. Maybe the memories will linger longer. I know that I know that my life will be better for that remembering. So, let me start with a real thing, the fact that jet lag is a real thing. And there I was in Edinburgh, wide awake, at 4 a.m. We were in an area called Quarter Mile, and a century-old hospital and parts of Edinburgh University met there in a fascinating mixture of the very, very old and the very modern. Quarter Mile at that point was a work in progress, a development of residences and retail and office space intermingled with those historical buildings, the old hospital and the university. And trying not to wake anybody up, I was in the living room of the flat that we had rented, trying to put myself back to sleep, but looking out at the ancient hospital across the street, which at that moment in time was surrounded by wooden fencing, seemingly to protect it from the construction, and certainly well lit by the megawatt lights that protected the construction equipment and presumably the entire area throughout the night. It was almost like broad daylight out there, except that there was a night sky and then these blaring lights. As I watched, the construction lights seemed to take on a life of their own, glowing like giant torches in the pre-dawn darkness. And as I watched, they seemed to be not just glowing, but growing, radiating like huge stars that had come to Earth. I found myself wondering if this was some kind of a mystical experience or if my eyes were creating the vision. So I looked away for a few minutes. I stared at the wall, I looked at a painting, I did everything but look outside. And when I looked back, the lights were a normal size again, normal for huge megalights. But I only had to look a little longer, and they regained their former size and radiance. They grew again. Now, please do remember it was 4 a.m. and one is entitled to have visions at 4 a.m. when one hasn't slept for over 24 hours. I looked at the giant stars, then looked away, then looked again, wanting to see, to recapture the vision, because it was amazing. And I did, each time. As I was watching this light show, my mind wandered to a framed picture, a lithograph by Corita Kent that hangs in our office. I'm looking at it right now. It's simple, 3 broad brushstrokes of color, red, yellow, and blue, and the words, "To see again what I have seen before." And I was reminded of another time in another place, in the forest surrounding Felden, when all of the trees around me seemed to be on fire. Each leaf an individual flame, and yet nothing burned. I shook my head, I closed my eyes, I opened them up again, and still it seemed like the forest was afire, but there was nothing threatening about it. It was just individual flames. And I remember thinking about Moses and his burning bush. How could I not? Poor Moses, only one lone bush while I had this entire forest glen. But then again, he was on a mountain in the middle of the desert, and it was probably a miracle that there was any vegetation at all. Elizabeth Barrett Browning wrote, "Earth's crammed with heaven, and every common bush afire with God." I believe that's true. I know that is true. I've seen it. But she goes on. But only he who sees takes off his shoes. The rest sit round it and pluck blackberries and doubt their natural focus. Every common bush afire with God. And streetlights that mirror the stars. Isn't life amazing? Einstein said something deeply hidden has to be behind things. Or maybe something not so deeply hidden, just not always seen. I believe that when we are open to it, when we allow ourselves to believe in something more, then that something deeply hidden reveals itself to us. Some time ago, there was an email circulating called God Whispers. You might have seen it. If you didn't, I'll post it when we're done. Please take a few minutes and check it out. It's really lovely. It begins with the words, "A man whispered, 'God, speak to me.' And a meadowlark sang, but the man did not hear it." It goes on. The man finally yelling, and spirit responding, and still he doesn't hear. He doesn't see. He doesn't get it. It's all around us. The life of God. The love of God. Living proof of the seemingly unprovable. We just have to be open. To look, to pay attention. You don't have to be specially chosen. You don't have to be Moses. In fact, you can't be Moses. Moses was Moses. You have to be yourself. And in being yourself, you have to look and you have to open your mind. You may even have to go to the mountaintop, or the desert, or the forest, wherever it is that you can let go of the appearances. Any place you can let go of the world as you understand it with your physical senses and your experience. You may even have to be willing to suspend your belief about the what is for the what there really must be. So, back, if you will, to Edinburgh. When we finally got up and moving in Scotland, we went to Rosslyn Chapel. It was a decade-old dream come true for me. I knew about Rosslyn long before the Da Vinci Code made it a household word, and I couldn't wait to be there. Rosslyn Chapel is worthy of its own talk. And I'm sure that at some point there will be one, especially when all of what we saw sinks in and I remember. But in the meantime, I have to mention that one of the thousands of images that flew through my head from Roslyn Chapel. The one that stays in my head is that of the carved head of Moses. There's Moses again, with horns. Now, they say that the horns on the carving are the result of a mistake in translation. That the Greek word for rays, as in rays of light, and the word for horns are apparently very similar. And one small miscalculation and a saint becomes a Satan. I'm not so sure that it is a mistake that horns are carved on Moses' head. Moses wasn't a saint, as saints go. Moses was not perfect. He had killed in anger, justifiable though it may have been. He tried over and over again to convince God that he was a bad choice as a spokesperson for the infinite because he lisped. God didn't care. And there were others, flawed humans, prophets who preached in the nude. If you check your history, you will soon figure out that the chosen ones are not chosen because they are perfect. It is because they choose. And in the choosing, find life. I could cite any number of examples. Moses, Jonah, Job. But I won't. You know it's true. You do not have to have behaved perfectly to experience God. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to believe and choose. Spirit will take care of the rest. Oh, there will be work for you to do. You don't get to choose a miraculous life and then just sit around and wait for it to come to you. But the path will become clearer, and your part of the divine partnership will become clearer, and the miraculous will become more visible. But we have to give up our attachment to appearances and to the past, and we have to open our minds to more. Two Einstein quotes come to mind. The first is, "He who can no longer pause to wonder and stand wrapped in awe is as good as dead." To be truly alive, to really experience the presence of God, we have to learn to stop our busy minds. We must learn to come off automatic, and we must allow ourselves to really look and really see all of the wonder that surrounds us, all of the infinite, unlimited possibility that lays before us, all of the spirit that fills the world, all of the miracles waiting to unfold in each one of our lives, every day, every minute. If we aren't looking for it, if we aren't awake, we'll miss it. And then we'll deny it. I don't think we can make it go away. But if we stop seeing it, it doesn't matter, does it? That it's there. And then Einstein wrote, there are two ways to live. You can live as if nothing is a miracle, or you can live as if everything is a miracle. Once again, you get to choose. Feast or famine. Love or loneliness. Mundane or miraculous. Mm. It's all about staying awake or awakening. To awaken is to bring those miracle thoughts and your dreams into the light. Speaking the dream casts that light into the world where others can see and respond to and support it. Your words carry those thoughts forward to a place in consciousness, whether it is the consciousness of one person or the consciousness of the world. It doesn't matter to God. I could go on. Oh, well, you know I could go on. I have much more to share. So many things that we encountered on that trip. So many things that had me saying, there's a talk. And I suspect many of them will be on another day, now that I'm remembering. For now, I leave you with this. There are signs of the presence of God all around us. In the magnificent, in the sacred, and in the mundane. Of all the amazing, inspiring, awesome things I saw during that trip, there was one very mundane one that summed the entire time and the spiritual experience up for me. In its very own special way, I think it rather sums up tonight's entire message as well. So there we were, standing waiting to board a hop-on, hop-off bus for a tour of Edinburgh. And I looked up, and on the window of the bus was a clear message from God. Couldn't have been clearer to me. It all but glowed. It said, please mind your head. See, ultimately, I think that says it all. Don't get lost in the past. Don't get hung up in regret. Don't wait until you think you are perfect before you believe that you are worthy of miracles. In God's eyes, you are already perfect, just as you are. And you can experience the miraculous. You are meant to experience miracles. You just have to stay awake and pay attention. And remember. And should you feel that you have wandered too far off the path and lost your way, keep your eyes open for the vehicle that will take you where you want to be. It will come. And just remember, if you will, as you prepare to get on board that miraculous machine, please just mind your head. I think I should make myself a sign and hang it on the wall opposite me, which is pretty full already, but there's enough, I think, room to put up a sign that says, mind your head. So what have you all been talking about while I was chattering? Happy Wednesday, Jefferson. Glad you're here. Yeah, I'm worried about the voter suppression and the climate issues too. Yeah, I could hum a few bars of that, Dana. Thank you. Hi, Brenda. Hi, Laura. Oh my goodness. What a life. What a life we live. What an amazing life we live. Um what amazing world we live in. The the material world, the physical world is as well as the spiritual world. How amazing it all is. Hmm. It just never stops reminding me to pay attention. Things I could have missed, might have missed, that I was fortunate enough to see, to be there for, to be awake. And that, of course, then gets me wondering how much I did, in fact, have missed, not seen, um, because I went to sleep or because I forgot. And there's no point in worrying about that or crying over it. That will do you no good. But oh, the things you can see if you stay awake. Now, I'm not suggesting you stop sleeping physically. Sleeping, going to sleep at night and getting some rest. Your body needs that. But I am suggesting that we don't sleepwalk. That once we are up and awake and paying attention, that we really pay attention. I can remember talking about that experience in Felden. I had my journal and I had I don't know, a book of bright ideas or some silly thing that I was going to read. And I got the journal out and I started writing, and I looked up and everything was on fire. My Moses moment. And I squeezed my eyes shut really, really tight, and I opened them again, and it was still there. But I wonder if I had been so wrapped up in my own, I'm going to have a spiritual experience, if I might have been so wrapped up in the journal and the writing that I didn't look up. And then once I did, it wouldn't go away. Hmm. And then there were those lights in Edinburgh. And they would go away for a second if I closed my eyes and reopened them, but then they came right back. Scotland's an amazing place. And yes, Jennifer, we live with miracles every day, but how often do we? I mean, it's the but is. And how often do we pay attention to them and go, wow? I had a friend who used to say it's a miracle that it works at all. Trouble is, he didn't mean it. It's a miracle. It's miraculous. It's wonderful. It's exciting. It's transforming. It is life giving. It is amazing. So, what do we want to pray for? What's going on that you would love to have a miracle happen with? Let's make this a really positive prayer time. What's going on in your life that a miracle would just be hunky dory? Brenda, if you think you're missing a lot, and sometimes we do, then just make a commitment to paying more attention, to really being present in the moment. It is so easy to not be present. It is so easy to be out there in tomorrow and what's going to happen, or an hour from now, or yesterday, or an hour ago. It is so easy to get in that trap that our mind is just turning cartwheels. It's tripping over itself, trying to be in 12 places at once. Be here now. Somebody said that. We'll just kind of, I think it was Ram Dass. Be here. Be here now. In this moment. In this precious, God filled, amazing, miraculous moment. You don't have to look for miracles. They'll reveal themselves to you if you stay in the here and now. Jennifer says gratitude. Got it. What about the rest of you? Come on. Come on. Got it, Jennifer. Got it. It's powerful. It is. It's very powerful. That'll change your life, sweetie. Okay, so how about the rest of you? I know you're there. Come on, you've been commenting now. What if this is a miraculous moment? Which it is. And what if whatever we pray for in this moment can absolutely become the reality if we are willing to believe that? And it is. And what if you can be here now and believe and welcome the miraculous into your life? Stay with me, stay awake. Okay. Laura, I know you're out there. Come on, people. What if? What if? What if this is one of those miraculous moments? Don't let it pass you by. Don't let it pass you by. Stay awake. And yes, I will probably read Rumi before the night is out. All right, I'm going to start praying. If you think of something, write it in. I'll be looking for it. All right? So let's pray. Close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. If not, just soft focus. Do what's right for you. There's a start. And know with me that God is where you are. Right now. Right now. The power of the universe, the creative, motivating power of the universe is within you right now. Not out there somewhere deciding whether or not you are worthy, but deep within, waiting to respond, responding to what you believe. What is true for one is true for all. All that there is God. That unlimited power expressing in and through and as each of us. And as we speak our words, so as on the very first day when God said, "Let there be light," and then there was light, so the words that we speak, the beliefs that we hold in our hearts, in our minds, create light in our lives. And I know for Jennifer, deep gratitude and the release of any hurt feelings. And the hurt feelings are now, as if magically, instantaneously replaced by love and appreciation and gratitude. There is no longer any room in her mind or her heart for anything less than love. And because she is open now and loving, everything comes to her. Financial abundance, love, friendship, joy, creativity, all there now. Now. And I know for Laura as well, gratitude, joy. A lightness of being. I know for Brenda, that she is perfectly able to be here now. In consciousness and in reality, that her mind now accepts the present moment, whenever that may be, as the place of her focus. And I know she is on the right path and there are no detours. She is blessed. Blessed. I can feel it. She feels it. I know that Jefferson has now already released old hurts. There's no room in his amazing heart or his mind for those thoughts. He is too big, too grand, too marvelous to hold any of that any longer. I know for Dana that she is done with pain. And pain is done with her. And she has the most amazing and safe, trouble-free travel, and enjoys her time with her family. That the entire experience is love-filled and pain-free. And we include in our prayer tonight those affected by the fires and the drought. The changes in the world's weather. The changes in the way the world works. We hold all of those people in our hearts and know that their lives, however they may look in the moment, ultimately are blessed by what they have experienced. Life is good, my friends, very, very good. And we are blessed to be in it. I believe that our world is clearly on the verge of something. Will it be the discovery of our divinity? I refuse to believe that it's disaster. And I don't believe that it's too late. But I think we must soon awaken and decide. And roll up our sleeves and get to work. And so I know tonight for all of us that we are large enough to get past our grievances and that we care enough to become involved. That we are too big to be tied in knots because of what others have done or not done, or what we have done or not done. And I know that with our loving thoughts, with our clear thoughts, with our thoughts filled with belief, we will create a better tomorrow. We commit ourselves tonight to staying awake, to remembering the miraculous and letting go of the mundane. And to love. And I am grateful for this opportunity, grateful for this night, grateful for the memories that we will create together starting right now. And so it is. And so it is. I told you I would read Rumi, and I will. Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. Ideas, language, even the phrase each other just doesn't make any sense. The breeze at dawn has secrets to tell you. Don't go back to sleep. You must ask for what you really want. Don't go back to sleep. People are going back and forth across the doorsill where the two worlds touch. The door is round and open. Don't go back to sleep. We have a closing song. Oh. I will post the God Whispers as soon as I'm done with this. It requires me, don't ask why, because I'm not as technologically advanced as I would like to be. It requires me to go out of this and into something else, but I will do that. I have it set up, I think, and ready to go. I'd like you, if you would, to repeat after me. The universe is calling.
The universe is calling.
We are here to answer the call.
We are here to answer the call.
With spiritual truth.
With spiritual truth.
With spiritual action.
With spiritual action.
And with love.
And with love.
We are here.
We are here.
To be agents of change.
To be agents of change.
In our lives.
In our lives.
In our community.
In our community.
And in our world.
And in our world.
And so it is.
And so it is.
I love you. I'll look for you on Sunday. It's going to be a busy, wonderful, miracle-filled week. Pay attention. And remember, because it is so very important to remember and believe. I love you. Don't forget to listen to the closing song. It's Susan Boyle. I'm excited. I'll see you on Sunday. Go with God. As if you could go any other way.